Today's focus, the law of the mind. For the next 14 days, you enter a single governing structure. This is the 7-minute daily focus, day 64 of 365. Today's focus, the law of the mind. For the next 14 days, you enter a single governing structure. I am not changing the subject, I am deepening focus. This is deliberate. Repetition is a key ally of focus. Repetition stabilises sequence. Repetition strengthens structure. Repetition clarifies interpretation. For 14 days, you remain under one master title, the law of the mind. The mind stands between origin and effect. Origin stands behind, effect stands in front, the mind stands between. The mind is metaphysical in nature, it is from and part of origin, the first cause, not separate from it, derivative of it. Origin and first cause are complementary. The original cause is original in nature. The mind proceeds from that ground and functions as its operative interior field. It is the seat of thought and thinking. It is the producer of ideas and dreams. Within the mind, metaphysical impulse becomes seed form. Thought is the seed of the mind. Thinking is the processor of the mind. Ideas and dreams are generated within the mind. It is there that their physical journey begins. The mind is the structured metaphysical field in which thought is held, and thinking sequences what thought contains. It stands between recognized reality behind and the physically visible structure in front, preserving lawful sequence. It does not replace origin, but participates in its movement. It is the metaphysical ground in which first cause is received, ordered, and structured for physical expression. If the mind is undisciplined, it follows physical sensory reaction. If the mind is aligned, it follows recognized reality. For the next 14 days, you will examine the mind from multiple angles, not because the principle changes, but because depth requires repetition. Each day will reinforce metaphysical order. Each day will secure sequence. Each day will return to this central position. Metaphysical governs physical. The unseen precedes the seen. Behind precedes in front. Origin precedes appearance. The mind must remain aligned with what is metaphysically recognized as real. You are entering a cycle of disciplined alignment with origin. You are strengthening the mind in its proper seat. You are refining recognition of what is metaphysically real. You are stabilizing the translation from the unseen into physical expression. You proceed deliberately. You proceed repetitively. You proceed structurally. This is the law of the mind. The mind is metaphysical in nature. It cannot be quantified or tracked by science, for it is not physical. It stands between the unseen and the seen. It does not originate reality. It structures it. Because it is metaphysical, it is not governed by physical instruments, but it can be influenced by physical perception. The mind can become enslaved by the outer senses. The 5 senses embedded within your physical bodily members. When this occurs, it begins to interpret from what is secondary. Appearance. It measures what is seen. It reacts to report. It compares what is visible. And in doing so, it lowers itself to the level of effect. From that position, the mind cannot purely access the seat of ideas and dreams, the realm of the extraordinary. Ideas and dreams cannot be stabilized with certainty from the standpoint of the 5 senses, because the 5 senses only confirm what has already appeared. They report effect. They do not perceive origin. That privilege belongs to your first sense, your primary inner sense, embedded within your metaphysical nature. The first sense perceives the metaphysical realm, the world of ideas and dreams, the world of the extraordinary, the realm of seed and actuality. The mind must therefore decide which sense or senses it will serve, reaction in front or recognized action behind. If it aligns with reaction in front, translation collapses into fragmentation. If it aligns with recognized action behind, translation stands as structured physical expression. The mind is the seat of origin in operative form, yet it is not the absolute origin itself, nor independent first cause. Origin and first cause are complementary. The original cause is the originating ground. The mind receives first cause and serves as the interior ground in which that originating impulse is stabilized and prepared. It is the metaphysical ground of seed in functional expression. Yet this same mind can be enslaved by a counterposition, the dominance of the outer senses. When it serves reaction rather than recognition, it lowers itself from its seat of origin into secondary appearance. Therefore, the mind must remain aligned with origin in order to preserve lawful translation. It is the instrument through which what is first cause becomes structured for physical expression. What stands behind, the unseen, the seed, the metaphysical ground, is perceived by the first sense. The mind receives what is recognized. The mind organizes what is acknowledged as real. If the mind is undisciplined, it turns toward appearance. It allows the five senses to dictate interpretation. It reacts, it measures, it compares, and in doing so, it reverses cause and effect. Reaction belongs in front. Structure belongs behind. When the mind treats what is physically seen as origin, instability follows. When the mind is aligned, it follows recognized reality. It does not argue with origin. It does not negotiate with appearance. It does not submit to reaction. It stands in order. Pause for a moment. Observe your thinking. Notice where interpretation begins. Does it begin in appearance? Or does it begin in recognized reality behind? The law of the mind states this: the mind must follow what is metaphysically recognized as real. It must not follow physically sensory reaction. It must not author from appearance. It must translate from origin. The mind is the container of thought and thinking. It is the field in which both operate. It holds the transforming entity that moves metaphysical reality into physical form. Thought is not empty. Thought is the seed. Thought carries value, ideas and dreams in seed form. Thought is an exchangeable entity because value can translate. Thinking is the processor. Thinking arranges the seed. Thinking sequences what thought contains. Thinking determines whether translation is coherent or distorted. The mind, therefore, contains the seed and governs the processing of the seed. It does not create the metaphysical structure, but it prepares it for expression. Translation generates from metaphysical structure. Structure then stands physically in front. The order cannot be reversed. If sequence is disturbed, physical expression distorts. If sequence is preserved, structure stabilizes. Physical expression is inevitable. If the mind is divided, translation divides. If the mind is steady, translation stabilizes. If the mind is clear, structure becomes deliberate. The mind does not create absolute reality. It arranges expression. It directs attention. It authorizes movement. It determines how what is metaphysically recognized becomes physically seen. This is why discipline of the mind is essential, not to control the world in front, but to preserve order behind. When the mind submits to fear, it authorizes fragmentation. When the mind aligns with actuality, it authorizes stability. The mind is therefore responsibility, not blame, responsibility, because how you structure interpretation shapes what you allow to translate. Everything visible in front has passed through the organizing function of the mind, not as absolute origin, but as metaphysical ground and translator. If you attempt to correct appearance without disciplining the mind, you treat effect as cause. If you refine the mind, structure adjusts accordingly. The mind must serve the first sense. The first sense perceives origin. The mind organizes translation. The five senses confirm result. This is correct metaphysical order. When recognized action is preserved, reaction dissolves. Action becomes deliberate, structure becomes precise, physical reality becomes an inevitability. Effect stands in front, origin stands behind, the mind stands between. This is the order of the law of the mind. The mind is metaphysical in nature. Thought is the seed within the mind. Thinking sequences the seed for expression. Thus, what is recognized behind becomes structured in the mind and appears physically in front. Affirmation for day 64. My mind is disciplined. My mind follows recognized reality. I do not react to appearance. I translate from origin. Behind governs in front, by order, by the law of the mind.